million people in America suffering from hearing loss. And now there's new research with gerbils that shows that there's promise with stem cells to perhaps treat or find some sort of way of arresting that hearing problem.
It came out of the United Kingdom, Kelly, and you know they didn't check those gerbils to see if they were hearing better. But what they did was they used stem cells, and they found a dramatic impact on what we call the cochlea of the ear. That's that snail-shaped thing in the inner ear.
Right.
It looks like a snail. It's got hairs on the inside, and then the nerves come right in there. And they found that they were able to regenerate both the hairs and the nerves to the point where they were then testing the gerbils, and they were able to hear better. You're talking about 37 million people in the United States with hearing problems, hearing loss. 90% of them have this kind of problem in the inner ear. Now, here's the good news about the FDA. We were criticizing them before. The FDA is working on a study of human infants now to see whether by using umbilical cord blood, they are able to have the same effect we saw in gerbils. Because we always say on the show, well, it's mice, well, it's gerbils. We're also now doing it in humans.
Well, what's the result of this? What type of promise does it really give for human beings, and how soon will it get into the mainstream?
Well, I'll leave this to David, but I do want to add to this. It has a lot to do with aging. As you age, you get more and more of this type of hearing loss. And sometimes medications do it, and sometimes trauma to the ear, and sometimes infections. But as you age, that's a key population.
So is there a way to prevent this if you're getting constant testing? A lot of people fail to test.
Part of the problem with hearing loss, and that those numbers have been going up. And I'm a little concerned about some of this research, because we talk about some of this, but by the time they come to the clinical pipeline, it may take years, and with the way the economy is going and the research fundings, they may or may not become a reality. But your question about prevention is extremely important, because look at our kids, look at the young generation blasting the iPod on their head. You get into the elevator, you can hear the music from a mile away, and if you understand the mechanism of how hearing works, the sound has to go through the canal, hits the eardrum, makes those hairs and nerves active. That's how it goes to the brain, and you hear it. If you understand that, then you're not going to blast that, because it's going to really damage that hair cells or those nerves. And you should see your doctor every 2-3 years. Go get tested, because you may have simple earwax that they may have to wash it. The noise doesn't get through. You may have an infection, as Mark mentioned, or you may have some sort of diabetic or smoking habits that affects it. So those are the things that you can do to really reduce damage to the hair.
I am really glad he brought up this issue of kids blasting this in their ears, because I have such kids. And the reality is that once those hairs are damaged, short of stem cells, we're looking way into the future here with stem cells, short of this kind of a thing, it doesn't come back.
So for the immediate moment, people should do the right thing, and that's prevent hearing loss to begin with.
How about talking to each other? Get that thing out of your ear.
I like
Except
that
nobody can hear you.
Oh my. It's a good warning for parents. At least mention to your kid, if you want to hear later on in life, to consider turning the volume down. Thanks to both of you for that. A lot more ahead.